You're now listening to the 1130 podcast. Enjoy the show. Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. Y'all already know what it is. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1130 podcast. What's goody? Everybody doing out there, man? We made it back here. It's Wednesday, another Wednesday in the book. You know what time it is. It's not 7:30. It's 11:30. It's time for the podcast, man. For real. Good morning to everyone who's tuning back in here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. If you're new to the podcast, like everyone is each and every week, hit that subscribe button down below, like, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. And don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. But you guys, like I said, man, we got to get into the show. Got a dope show. Got a dope guest, as you can see, you guys, coming up this week on the podcast. Tremaine Wills. Yes, you guys. She's a financial planner. She's a dope speaker, you guys. She's the CEO and founder of Mind Over Money, LLC. We're going to be chopping it up with her, man, and a dope story and all that. It's going to be great, for real. Before we get into that, shout out my guest who was on last week, both shows. Thank you guys, and thank everyone for tuning in. Nikki Owens and Shala. Appreciate you guys coming on the show. Speaking of the show, we're going to get into it. Tremaine, how's it going?
It's going great. First of all, let me say, I just love your energy, okay? It is such a vibe when you can step into a space and just feel like the good energy and that ability to lift the crowd up. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good.
Thank you. That made me smile this morning. I'm gonna have a good day after that. I appreciate that. A lot of people always tell me that my energy is turned up to a notch, especially my fiance. She be like, "Yeah, Dre, when you just, when you chilling, yeah, you turned down, but when you get Dre on Wheels, you turned up. You turned up." So I appreciate that. I appreciate how life treating you.
It's going well. In this season, right? I'm an entrepreneur, so we all know that there's those roller coasters, ups and downs, and I'm on one of those periods where we're starting to climb back up. So I'm feeling pretty excited about the forecast of the company, the growth that we're experiencing. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. Cool. Where you from?
I am from Newport News, Virginia. For those of you who are familiar with that area, bad news, as we are so eloquently referred to.
Okay.
Yeah, hometown.
Okay, so you from Virginia? Ever been to DC before?
I have been to DC.
Okay, that's where I'm from.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. So we got some DMV flavor going on here on the podcast. I appreciate it. That's what's up. For my listeners and viewers that's not familiar with you, tell everyone about yourself.
Yeah. So as you mentioned earlier, I'm a financial planner. I own several entities that focus on helping building wealth in the Black community. The core of what we do is specifically focusing on Black families and helping them improve their capacity to build wealth. So we focus on financial planning, investment advice, financial literacy education, helping small business owners with their accounting, bookkeeping, tax preparation, making sure you have the proper insurances that you need. So all of the things around money, that's what we do with a focus on helping the Black community.
Okay, that's what's up. Like people, definitely like you, helping the Black community, because it's not that many resources in the Black community. So when it's someone who step up and definitely can give back, that's what it's all about. How did you become a financial expert and an advisor and speaker also? Because, you said you had a calling on your life, and this kind of like changed everything for you, because, growing up in the hood, you had a thing you want to be like, girls in the hood and, people, could, be financial planners and change people's lives and, start investments also.
Yeah. So I'll give you the short version of the story, but I grew up in a single parent household. I'm very familiar with the line, do you have McDonald's money? That kind of stuff, right? When you're asking for things and your parents are like, we ain't got it, right? Mm-hmm. And so at a very young age, I learned how to make money. So I started braiding hair. My business was called Tame Your Mane Braids by Tremaine, right? My mom made me these business cards. And so I learned how to use my skills to make money. But what I quickly learned was that I knew how to make all this money, but I didn't know how to keep it. So every time I wanted to buy something, I had to go do somebody's hair. And so it was very, very labor intensive. And so at this point, I was about 13, 14 years old when I started this business. Don't tell the IRS. I didn't pay no taxes on that money. But by the time I got to 17, 18, my mom's asking, like, what are next steps? Of course, everyone's pushing us to go to college. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to study. And so I decided, well, I need to learn how people build wealth, because that's not something we were being taught in our communities. It really wasn't being pushed in school. And so that's where I was pushed to how to build wealth. I finished high school, finished college, landed my first job as a financial specialist for a regional financial institution. And I quickly realized that I hated sales. Right. I was convincing, old white men to leave their advisor and come to our branch. And even though I was pretty good at it, I felt disposable. I felt like anybody could come in and they could just put another body in this position. It was very transactional. I come from a community-based, service-oriented background where we were volunteering. So I like the nature of building relationships, giving back, all that kind of stuff. And I was not getting that at that job. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to leave. I took what I learned from them. I took my passion that I had for service and started my own thing. And so, of course, there were some, reservations, some fears that, who's going to listen to this little Black girl? But the more I persevered and started connecting with people who looked like me, there aren't people who look like me with my experience, my background, that can now speak to obstacles, how to overcome those obstacles when you didn't grow up with wealth. But now that you know better, how do you manage it differently? So that's why I believe I was created to be in this position, so that I could bridge the gap between people who might have grown up in poverty that want to step into abundance and what that process looks like, because it's a different conversation than having grown up with wealth. There are just some things you talk about with your family that those conversations aren't being held in some of our lower income communities. And so helping people overcome the fear of feeling less than or embarrassed or, just all of those negative things that come around inferiority. I'm incredibly passionate about breaking down those barriers and making sure everybody knows that all it takes is a decision to change your life. So
You're right about that. All it does is take is a decision. You spoke on how you said you were doing, hair, and you were doing all type of stuff, just try to make money. And, everybody got a side hustle and stuff, because things ain't just, trying to make ends meet every 2 weeks or whatever the case may be and stuff like that. How do people turn things around for themselves and try to hold on to their money and have something to show for it?
Yeah, that's the hard part of the mindset shift, right? I think for many of us, we can consume the information about what to do, right? So we can go out, we can find, the Earn Your Leisures or the Ash Cashes or Budgetnista or Dave Ramsey, all these different education platforms that will teach us what to do differently. But until we have a clear vision on where we want to go and why, none of that education really matters, because you won't stick to the plan. So if there are folks who are listening to this that are like, you know what, I know how to make money, I want to do something different, I would encourage you to take a moment to just sit back and think about, where do you want to go and why, right? That'll allow you to put the steps in place to get there, so that you know what the next phase is and what you're chasing. It can be incredibly easy to just spend money, right? If you know you can just go make more. But when you are attached to a vision or something that is bigger than your ability to just spend money, you kind of lock in to achieving that goal. And if you have that hustler mentality in you, being connected to achieving a goal is going to push you even further. Mm-hmm. So that would be my biggest thing. If you have the capacity to use your skills, or you can get a job and you can make money, get aligned with something bigger than just whatever that dollar amount is and start chasing it.
Mm-hmm. You're right, man. Because far as me, I know saving money is without my fiance, because she the one who kind of like, yeah, babe, put some money up to the side, and I be the one who try to spend some money. So I definitely need tips and helps on definitely ways to save money. What are some planted tips on investments, and how can my subscribers and stuff increase their financial stability?
Yeah. So again, it goes back to that first goal, right? So like, what are the things you're chasing after? So for many people who I come in contact with, there's like 2 or 3 key goals that pretty much most people have in common, right? If they don't already have a home, they want to purchase a home, right? So the first thing is identifying how much you need to save for that down payment, and the things you need to do to clean up credit if you have to do those things. So whatever that number value is, making that your target and chasing after it, automating your savings from whatever income source that you have to consistently deposit money into that account until you reach that goal. The next thing is becoming disciplined around your investing strategy. So a lot of people ask me all the time, what stock should I buy? And the better question is, what are you investing for? Right? Because I can tell you, invest in the S&P 500 through Vanguard's ETF or something like that, right? But if you don't have the identifier as to why you're investing and when you need the money back, you won't know the appropriate account to do it in, right? Because if this is something that's going to stay, pushed to the side for 20, 30, 40 years until retirement, then okay, we need to put this in an IRA or put it in your 401k or whatever your retirement savings program is. But if the purpose of you investing is for maybe funding your child's education or being able to give them $100,000 when they turn 18, right? Then there's a different account structure for that. So all of this goes back to having goals that you want to reach, and then you go back and put the strategy in place to get there, right? There's so many different ways to accomplish our goals and lots of avenues to take, but the biggest thing is getting concrete about what you want to do.
I dig it. You got all the information. I can definitely dig it. You said this is your calling, and also one thing you talked about is your perspective changed on money. What was your perspective? What was your perspective on money, and versus to your perspective on money now?
Yeah. So when I was growing up, I continuously felt this. People who are wealthy are bad, or having a lot of wealth is a negative thing. And so subconsciously, I felt like I was pushing away the idea of having and keeping money. And what I had to learn is that money itself, wealth itself, is not a bad thing. It is okay to be rich, and that money has no characteristics. All it does is it takes on the characteristics of who's in control of it. So if you are naturally a giver and you give the shirt off your back if that's all you have, when you step into more wealth, if that is your dominant true characteristic, that'll be who you are when you become wealthy. So for me, it was learning that I could be wealthy and not be a bad person. What allowed me to make that shift, that I would still be the same giving, the same caring person, that same service-hearted person. And then I could fully step into that, because now that I have more money, I can give more and do more. And so that was the biggest shift I had to have, because it was really crippling me. I was having so many internal battles,
Was it society telling you that being rich was a bad thing?
Yeah, the messaging, at least from the circles that I was in, was people who have lots of wealth, they had to do something wrong to get it, right? Now I do think that there are different paths that may cause you to probably be exposed to different options that are more negative than others, right? But I don't think that everyone who is a millionaire, billionaire automatically is a bad person. I completely disagree.
Yeah, I disagree too. I mean, what about the people who earned it and got their way there, and sacrifices and stuff like that? People come from different backgrounds, so I definitely get what you're saying. I definitely get what inspires you.
Being able to give my mom a break. I watched her work so hard, and I started to think back to every major influential person in my life, and most of the time it was a Black woman. And typically it was a Black woman who was not making a lot of money that was still giving and working so hard to make things work in her community. And so that's why when I stepped into this business and decided to do it my way, my focus was going to be making sure that if I was helping Black women, I was teaching them how to multiply their resources so that they can continue doing what they love to do on a larger scale, right? If I can, hustle up $500, $1,000 for this organization I'm serving, imagine what happens when I learn how to leverage resources and I can bring in partners that'll pay, $50,000, $100,000 to the project that I care about, right? So that's what the biggest inspiration is absorbing all this information from the partnerships and relationships that I have access to, and then turning those back out to the women who look like me, that look like my mother, that look like other service people that I've come in contact with, to give them access to ways to pour back into their community without draining themselves.
Okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. I always ask each and every week, my guests what inspires them, because there's always something out there that's amazing, that inspires us individually. But you guys, man, we're gonna move on here on the podcast. Tremaine, you said you were a former athlete, also, right?
Yes. Yeah. So, and I think that's one of the things that kind of makes me a good business owner is that. So I ran track. I am incredibly competitive, right? And so track is a highly individualized sport, but it's also team-based, right? And so for me, that works well because I can compete against myself to get better in my business, but also compete with the team that I'm building to make sure that, we're trying to be better than these other firms, right? And so I think that for anyone who is a business owner that is a former athlete, that's a competitive edge. That is an opportunity to use those skills to push you past, you have experience pushing yourself to limits that some other people may not have that experience. So I like to use it. And sometimes I could come off like I got my chest poking out, but that's because I know I work hard and I hustle harder than some of the people who I'm up against.
Okay. Were you always competitive, or that was just you're an athlete?
I've always been competitive, but I've ran track since I was 9. So those formative years, I started off trying to beat the boys.
Okay, I can tell. Very competitive. I can dig it. That's gonna take you very far in life. But you guys, man, we're gonna keep moving on here on the 1130 podcast. You guys, it's time for the 1130 podcast hot seat. You guys. Okay, all right. It's time for the hot seat. Tremaine, I got 6 questions for you, and we're gonna roll with it. You ready?
I'm scared.
Don't be. All right. Number 1, what is your favorite food?
Can I say all of them? I like to eat.
Okay.
If I had to be super specific, it's probably gonna be tacos or burritos.
Okay, tacos. I'm down with you. I like some tacos. I like tacos. Okay. What's one thing for you that money cannot buy?
Oh, peace. Peace. That's the thing. I had to learn not to chase chaos, but being able to find that peace and just sit with yourself, man.
Yeah,
I know. Go back.
Yeah, I don't know how people chase chaos, man. Be out in the streets and stuff. Your peace is everything. Your peace is everything. All right. How do you unwind after a long day?
So, combination of things. Most recently, I've been binge watching Suits on Netflix. So finding whatever my latest binge is. What else did I do? Go to sleep on time.
I like that. Go to sleep on time. Okay. Any other Netflix shows you into right now?
So before Suits, I had just finished watching. It was another lawyer one. Billions. No, that wasn't lawyer. Billions. I had just finished watching Billions, but obviously I like the white collar, people doing deals in the dark type shows.
Okay, I can dig it. Okay. Who do you go to when you're feeling down?
It depends. So typically I'll call my mom. If it's super heavy, I'm going to my therapist. So I have a standing appointment with my therapist at 1 o'clock every Monday. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Cheeseburgers or pizza?
Oh, pizza.
Pizza? Okay.
Pizza. Hands down. I don't eat beef, so
okay.
It would have to be the pizza.
All right. My fiance is actually 7 months pregnant, and that's all she eat. That's all she eat right about now. It's just pizza. She said, "Yeah, this definitely your son right here. This definitely your son. pizza. She probably gonna hit me up right now talking about she wants some pineapple pizza and stuff like that." So.
Oh, with the pineapples.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so you a fan of the pineapples on pizza?
I feel like I'm a fan of everything on pizza.
Okay.
I mean, you just try the different combinations. It's versatile, like tacos.
Okay. I dig it. Okay. Have you failed at anything? And if so, how did you react to it? And what did you learn from it?
I have failed at everything. The biggest and most recent thing though was I had a estate planning course that I was taking to get another certification for my business. And I was very, very cocky when I was going to take this test. And oh my goodness, I didn't know half of the stuff on there. And it humbled me. Oh my goodness, it humbled me so much. And what I learned was you can never be over prepared. When you are trying to hone your craft and improve your skill, studying for real so that you can learn the information and be able to apply it is invaluable. So for me, I'm incredibly confident, right? But I had to realize that I will need to always be a forever learner, and that just because I know something well, I think I do, that doesn't mean I can't still learn something new. So that was such a humbling experience. And now I'm better for it because when I'm studying, I take it serious because I don't know everything. So yeah, it hurt my ego, but it's definitely made me a better advisor now.
Okay. That's what's up. Look at Tremaine. I appreciate you coming through here on the 1130 podcast this week. It was dope chatting with you, for real. Before you go, any shout outs, any questions, anything you'd like to say?
I just want to thank you for bringing me on your platform. And what can we do for you?
Just come back here on the podcast. I mean, whatever is cool. I appreciate the love and the kind words in the beginning and just, the vibing with you. It's been a dope time for real. So I appreciate it. I really do.
Yeah, but that's really all I have. Thanks so much for inviting me. If anybody wants to find me, I'm at Tremaine Wills on all social media platforms. Or you can look us up, Mind Over Money. Okay. Any big plans coming up in the later year or for the summer? Besides me going on vacation, that is overdue. That's probably my biggest thing. And if I had to leave one nugget, it would to be encouraging entrepreneurs to take breaks. When you leave your space and you go get a fresh perspective, you can come back better. So that's another mistake I made, was deciding I was gonna hustle and just keep pushing myself. And I'm like, now I'm well overdue for a vacation. So learn from us that have made these mistakes over and over again. Take breaks.
Okay, I'll definitely take that advice because a break is definitely coming up for everyone watching here on YouTube here with the 1130 podcast. So I'll definitely be coming back in September or something like that. But it was definitely a dope vibing with you before my break and stuff like that. So I hope you have a wonderful vacation and keep doing everything you're doing. And I appreciate it. Once again, everyone, man, this was a dope episode. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Tremaine, thank you so much for coming on the show. We're going to come back, you guys. We're going to continue the show. Appreciate everyone joining me. For more information, man, all the links will be down below so you can check out Mind Over Money and get all catch up, man. Financial investments and everything, for real. Tremaine, thank you so much for coming through here once again on the 1130 podcast. For everyone, sit tight, man. You're listening, you're watching to the 1130 podcast. We'll be right back.
and sanitized. 1 million faces protected. 400,000 rail cars disinfected. We're humming right along, keeping you safe when you ride Metro.
Yo, what up? This your boy Kenneth Stones, aka Coffee Weaston.
This your boy D.O.E. Good Brother Bowl.
And we are the Dirty Hills. You already know, man. You tuning in to 11:30 podcast. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Dude, that's my job. Not 7:30, but 11:30.
Yeah. And you have been Dirty Hills approved.
Yo, we back here on the 11:30 podcast. Appreciate everyone sticking with me throughout the commercial break, man. It's Wednesday. Yo, this has been a dope episode. For real, dope episode, dope guest. Tremaine Wills, thank you so much for coming through here on the podcast. Financial planner, speaker, CEO, and founder of Mind Over Money. Get at her, you guys. The links are down below. You can subscribe to everything she got going on and follow her on Instagram. Thank you so much, Tremaine, for coming through here on the show talking about financial investments and, just how to, increase financial stability, especially in the Black neighborhoods, because there's not too many resources. So I'm proud of you, and I thank you for coming through here on the podcast. She said she was from Virginia, so DMV all the way in the building. DMV stand up, man, for real. And everything she said also about, taking the breaks, man, and recuperating. And yo, I just want to let everyone know. I'm always excited. I want to let everyone know, in 2 weeks, you guys, yes, I will be taking a break from the podcast, man. Yes, we'll be taking a break from the podcast. I will be back sometime in September. I'll try to be back, maybe earlier, probably won't, but I'm having a baby boy, and my fiance is 7 months pregnant, about to be 8 months, so I'm ecstatic, man. Because every time we see one another, I'm like, baby, you are getting bigger, though. For real, you're getting bigger, and I think, man, like, just with just so much stuff just, going on in the world, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep my WTF moment, just something, I guess, something simple, just for me. But yes, man, that's my WTF moment, man. 2 months away of being a dad. I checked with my guy, Warren Marlowe. I checked with my guy, A. Coachman. Just so many guys, who were here on the podcast. And I don't like to say my next guest or, who's coming up next week, but my guy, my bro from another mother, man, who always been dope to the 11:30 podcast and dope to me ever since he came on the podcast. Laquan Johnson, yes, you guys, motivational speaker, podcaster, entrepreneur, dope guy. He's gonna be on the podcast, you guys, next week. And we're gonna be chatting everything, man. A little bit of fatherhood, and Father's Day coming up. So I hope all the dads out there get all the love, all the real dads that's in, the child's life. Because I always said, man, my dad wasn't in my life. I had multiple father figures and stuff like that, big brother, little brother. But my father, wasn't in my life. Was he ashamed to be my dad or whatever? I don't know. Who knows? But I said, man, look here, man. I'm all to my son. I'm here, man. I'm here for you. I'm all the way here for you, because you ain't got a lot of dads that's in their kids' life, man. So I think that's important, especially if you have a boy, man. If you have a son, these men, these boys out here, some of them not even men. They still boys though, but they grow up here. They grow up out here, man, and lost, uneducated, just don't have no respect. It's sad, man. And we as men need to be in our fathers, in our kids, excuse me, we as men and fathers need to be in our kids' lives, man, to teach them right from wrong. Even if you have a girl, so you can show your girl, look here, I'm a representation of what a man, supposed to be, of how I treat you, not only treat you, but treat your mom, if they in that same type of relationship or whatnot. But I definitely want to be that for my son and be like, yo, little man, look here, respect women, have morals, and just And also, man, push him. Just push him to any and everything he desire, man. I was chatting with my guy Kenny from the Call Up Podcast on the Wrestling Podcast a couple of weeks ago, and how we were chatting how kids are just so adventurous. And one moment they could be in basketball, they could be in football, they could be in soccer, they could be playing, they could be dancing, or whatever the case, whatever it is, man. I'm support them, and I'm being there for them. So, like I said, man, that's that's kind of like my WTF moment this week. I kept it a little simple. That my fiance is damn near 8 months, man, and my little man is here. We about to have a baby shower coming up next month, so definitely, like I said, I'll be on break. I may drop an episode here and there just to tell you guys, man, my thoughts and opinions, because I can't, it's all good, and I think it's really good to just step out of it. I've been consistent for since December of 2019. I took maybe a break or two, definitely the Christmas break, like 2 weeks or whatever. But I mean, this is fun. This is definitely fun. Not just for you guys' feedback or for anyone's approval. This is definitely fun just for me, because I always saw myself doing something in this fashion. Never could have put it together or whatnot. But also, when my brother got killed a couple of months ago, someone was just saying, man, like, man, just go at it. Don't stop at it, man. Just go. And right now with my son about to be, born and stuff like that, and I'm gonna take a back seat and enjoy that moment and enjoy him and life that God has blessed me with, to have a son, because at first I was like, man, if I don't have a kid, I don't have a kid. It is what it is, because, I'm in a wheelchair, and I was like, can I do it? I never seen too many people like me in my position or condition, and they had kids. I seen a couple of them, but it never gave me the confidence or to be like, you know what, man, yeah. And now all I hear is Daddy Dre. So, so it's a blessing, man. It is definitely a blessing, and it's going up from here, man. It's definitely going up from here. I thank everyone for tuning in. 1,200 subscribers here on YouTube. Give you guys a round of applause, man. Because I thank you guys for tuning in, watching, listening. And I thank everybody for helping me get to this point right here. And is like I said, this is just the beginning, man. This is just the beginning, and it's going up. It is definitely going up. So shout out to everyone who support the 1130 podcast, who tune into the 1130 podcast each and every week, man. For real, I appreciate it. Also, shout out to my guys Off the Top Roads podcast, everyone at Off the Top Roads podcast. Definitely my guy Blackheart, Cyber Yeti, shout him out, man. Off the Top Roads podcast will return July 29th. So definitely go subscribe, catch up, get tuned in, man, for real. And check out WrestleNerd, man. Check out all the episodes of WrestleNerd. So when that come back and you think you smarter than a guy who like wrestling, tune into it. Also, man, go subscribe and catch up to the latest episodes of Buzzing with Marlo, for real, on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts at. Man, this was a dope one. And also, shout out to my guys, the Dirty Hills, man. Dirty Hills approve all the way, man, for real. I was saying WTF moment, for real, man. I gotta share maybe like 2 WTF moments real fast. One, the MJF shit. I know a lot of people ain't talking about that no more, but what went down last week and just how MJF blew up, and I think everything is taken down from AEW off their website about him shop AEW and everything. So, man, things are getting heated up, and for some reason I had a dream. I thought this was so wild that I had a dream that he showed up in WWE. He showed up in WWE, and I think it was real sooner than anybody thought, though. But I thought that was, WTF. But also, this past Sunday at Hell in a Cell, Cody Rhodes, man, you got all my respect. You got, hey, look at everybody, respect you now to the fullest. Some was, taking some time to get on your bandwagon. But, hey, they haven't missed, in my opinion, with Cody Rhodes. And, boy, for him to come out there on Sunday night with a torn pectoral muscle, now, for some fans, it was like, yo, man, he was really hurt. Yeah, he was really hurt. But also, they put a little makeup on there to add some edginess to it. And if you didn't think so, the next night on Monday Night Raw, it didn't look like that. Even when he was wrestling Seth, you can see it smeared off a little bit. But WTF, man. WTF all the way, you guys, for real. My wrestling podcast, the 1130 Podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling, all new episode, you guys. This Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got a dope guest, you guys. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. I need you to tune in this Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central. I got a dope guest that's going to be on, man. For real, streaming on YouTube. You ain't going to miss it. Oh, man, it's going to be wonderful. The audio version will be available the next day. This was a dope episode, man. Really, really a dope episode. I'm about to head on out of here, you guys. But before I do, you know what time it is. Don't forget to follow the 1130 Podcast on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter at the 1130 Podcast. Like the 1130 Podcast on Facebook. Yes, like the 1130 Podcast on Facebook. And if you haven't done this whole entire episode, this good episode, man, for real, what you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button down below. Like, leave a comment, and do all that great stuff. For real. And the 1130 Podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Like I said, this Friday, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, follow, leave a 5-star rating on Spotify, all that stuff, man. I appreciate it so much. And once again, Tremaine Wills, thank you so much for coming through here on the 1130 Podcast this week. Dope guests coming up next week here on the podcast. Tune in, for real. Make sure you follow me, man. Oh, this is going to be up, man. It's going up from here. This was a dope show. Stay blessed, stay safe for everybody, man. Yo, give all the glory to God, man. Won't he do it? Yo, for myself, Dre, a.k.a. Dre on Wheels, my wonderful guest who was joining me this week, Tremaine Wills, I'm out, man.